If you were like me a couple weeks ago when the president got on the tube and started talking about how Tylenol causes autism, I mean, just red flags just coming up. Boom, 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 boom. And then the vaccines causing autism. Boom, 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 boom. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So who better to bring on the show than an actual expert in the field, a doctor, well-published author, and adored by the whole autistic community. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Celine Saulnier. Hi, Dr. Celine. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? It's good to see you.
It's so nice to see you again, too. Now, let's address what every parent is talking about and also worried about. Does Tylenol cause autism?
No, Tylenol does not cause autism. I can certainly understand why people would be concerned about this, given what they're hearing through the media. But scientific evidence has shown that the studies conducted are not proving this link.
And also, do vaccines cause autism?
No, vaccines do not cause autism. We have known this for decades of worldwide research, hundreds of studies showing no link between vaccines and autism, the timing of vaccines and autism, the number of vaccines given in autism, and any preservatives like thimerosal in vaccines. So there is no association. Vaccines do not cause autism.
So, Celine, what causes autism?
Autism is a very complicated genetic disorder that we could be talking about autisms with multiple causes or an autism that has multiple underlying causes, something like hypertension. There are many ways you can come to hypertension, many different causes for it, but it's still all hypertension. Certainly, if someone has a vulnerable genetic makeup, there are environmental factors that can influence, those vulnerable genes. And as of now, the only factors that we know that are associated with autism based on scientific evidence are paternal and maternal age and prematurity.
I was 38 when we had our son, and I was a little late to the game, right? I also had some environmental factors going on. I was in Colorado Springs during the Waldo Canyon fire. When all of Colorado was ablaze, I was stuck inhaling all of this smoke. Then, to add insult to injury, when Lyric was born, the cord was wrapped around his neck. So he was deprived with oxygen for we really don't know how long, but they ended up having to do an emergency cesarean. So you can look at all of these other factors and know that it's not vaccines, right? Lyric had never had a vaccine. And at 1 year old, we were seeing that he wasn't, meeting those milestones. And then, by 3 or 4, that was when they were, finally diagnosing autism in young children. Now I think it's much sooner than that, right? Am I right?
Without a doubt. And we do know based on the genetics of autism that autism is unfolding in utero, right? We know that whatever is happening happens before birth. We just don't see the full autism symptoms at birth. Those continue to unfold over the first few years of life. But in most cases, we should be able to diagnose autism accurately by 18 to 24 months of age.
Now, you've spent a decade-long research at Yale University, right? I mean, like I just want to let the listeners and viewers know, I don't bring on just people. I mean, Celine, you're legit. So, you've written 2 books. Let's talk about those books. What are they all about?
They're both in the Essentials series published by Wiley. Essentials books are really like cliff notes for how to conduct assessments for psychologists. So they're really good for students, grad students, and even clinicians who are new to conducting a certain type of measure or assessment. And the publishers of that whole series were at Yale. The Kaufmans. And so because we did these comprehensive diagnostic evaluations for autism, they asked myself and one of my colleagues, Pam Ventola, to do one of the books on how do you conduct these evaluations. So one is on assessment and evaluation of autism. And then I also do a lot of research on adaptive behavior profiles in autism and other neurodevelopmental disabilities. So the second book was on that, on adaptive behavior.
I mean, you're so accomplished. You're so well beloved and adored in the world of autism and all of the researchers and doctors that sit alongside of you. You also speak, right? When's the last time? Because weren't you at the Autism Symposium last year
Yes,
or this year?
you are so kind and very knowledgeable then, but yes, I
I stalk all my guests.
I conduct a lot of teaching and training. In fact, last week I conducted a 6-hour continuing ed webinar for any professionals that want to learn how to conduct autism evaluations and know how to translate those results into treatment and intervention. That was through PESI, an online organization for training. I do trainings on the Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scales for Pearson and for a whole bunch of different companies that use the Vineland as an outcome measure. And I go to conferences and talk a lot. So yeah, that's a big proponent of what I do.
With me today, Dr. Celine Saulnier, and she is the founder of NACS. She's a published author, speaker. I mean, she is legit. And when we get back, we're going to find out some other things that parents are just wondering and hearing. And just stay with me. You're going to love it. Stay with me.
Don's Tree Service is awesome.
Love Don's Tree Service. They've come out for a giant oak tree removal, another for some debris removal.
One thing I really appreciated about Don's Tree Service, they come, they take those trees down, and they take everything away.
For a free estimate, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-TREE, or find them online at donstree.com.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Dr. Celine Saulnier. She is the founder of NACS. And, Dr. Celine, we're talking, does Tylenol cause autism? And what are the vaccines? Do they cause autism? And what is autism? Let me ask you some other things that parents really want to know about. Do stem cells work? Stem cell treatment therapy, do they work in autism?
There was one major study conducted out of Duke University on stem cell research that, as the last I heard about this study, is it stopped because they were not finding any significant outcome for it. Stem cell research is really important for other diseases, so I understand why people would take this route in autism, especially when we don't know what causes autism. So we're grasping at anything to try to find ways to ameliorate the symptoms. But the types of studies conducted, whether it was a child's own stem cell or they were using another individual stem cell, that's extraordinarily invasive and then requires a lot of treatment in its own right. We're talking about almost like cancer treatments in order to have this. So that can pose its own risk, right? So when we're not finding really these significant findings that would help out an individual or their family, I don't think that the benefits are outweighing the risks as of now.
And let me ask you about cell detox. What are your feelings and what does the research show on that?
Are you talking about things like chelation?
Correct.
Okay. There is no evidence that chelation is effective in autism, and those studies were originally conducted on the theory that there were elevated levels of mercury in the bloodstream of autistic individuals. That's never been founded, and in fact, we all have a certain number of metals in our bloodstream that we need to sustain life. So if we do chelation, which is extracting those metals from us, if we don't actually have the elevated toxic levels, then you can cause harm by doing that. And children did actually die undergoing chelation. So for autism, it is not indicated. It would not be considered an evidence-based practice.
So, Celine, outside of being brilliant in and of itself, you also have a practice where you see patients. Tell everybody what NACS is and what it stands for.
NACS is Neurodevelopmental Assessment and Consulting Services, which is a mouthful, but it's because I do split my time doing two completely different things. The diagnostic evaluations, which are through the lifespan, infancy through adults, and then my teaching and training and consulting.
Do you have a long wait list right now?
I don't carry a wait list. Instead, I just book individuals and families out. So right now I'm booking into December, which is not too long. Many clinics have a year wait list or longer.
Yeah, I think I would prefer coming to you, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, just having known you and knowing what you're about and like your, background and you're well published and you're well spoken and you have a good practice and you know what you're talking about. I mean, like, pick up the phone. How can people find you, Dr. Celine?
Well, my website is nacsatl.com. So nacsatl.com. And my email is my first name, Celine, Celine, at nacsatl.com. So my name at my website.
Can people find your books there as well?
They can. My website has links to purchasing the books. Both are available on Amazon or at Wiley. And I'm also an author on the Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scales, which is a measure that clinicians use as part of diagnostic evaluations for neurodevelopmental disorders.
Got it going on. Dr. Celine, thank you so much for being on the show.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Dr. Celine is busy. I mean, she's writing, she's speaking, she's, got her own practice, and she really knows what she's talking about. Like I said, spent a decades-long research project at Yale University with 2 books behind her. Believe Dr. Celine. And in fact, I'm going to try to include some links that she just sent me so that you can read further about the vaccines and the Tylenols and the whatnots that we just, proved were not factual that he said. Either way, it doesn't matter. We don't get political on the show. We just want you to have the right information and the right tools and resources so that you can pick and choose what's right for your family member. All right. As we continue to do Life with the Spectrum, we're going to continue to bring the latest news to you. We're also going to bring respite. What does it look like to have a life coach and a mentor and somebody that you can just talk to? All of these things featured ahead on future episodes of Life with the Spectrum. And I certainly appreciate you commenting, sharing, and most of all, subscribing to the channel. Remember, you can always grab it as a podcast wherever you grab your podcast. And until next week, we live life with the Spectrum. See ya.
Bye.